if you've heard people talking about how you need to pinch your flowers, your Cosmos or Zinnias or your sweet pea flowers, this is why. Do you see these long, lovely sweet peas? They are gonna grow this summer all the way up this trellis, but here's why we need to pinch them. When you pinch your flowers, or you pinch a plant, basil even, or your sweet pea plant, what it does is you are turning on the defense mechanism of the plant. And why would that be good, to turn on the defense mechanism of the plant? It makes the plant bush out. Instead of it sending up one long stalk, just like this, one long stalk, one skinny long stalk. When we pinch the top, which is very, very simple, I'm gonna show you, bring you closer so you can see. Okay, here's my sweet pea stalk. It's getting very, very long. Time to plant it. And here's the top of it. I'm gonna go down to actually this next leaf set right here. Right above it, I'm going to cut it off. That is how you pinch a flower. You literally just cut the top off the plant. And the first time that I heard somebody say, oh, well, your dahlia will be stronger and not as floppy if you pinch the top, I thought they were crazy. Why would you want to cut the top of your plant off? It feels like it's so violating to just cut it off like that. But here's what it does. So your flower is designed to reproduce itself. The whole goal of the plant is actually not to create a flower, but it's actually to create the seeds, to make seeds so that at the end of this growing season, this sweet pea won't go away forever. It would actually be able to plant itself again. And the beautiful thing about sweet peas is if you leave them out at the end of the year and those flowers go to seed and dry, you can save those seeds and you can plant a new crop again next year. Amazing, right? Well, when you pinch your flower, what it does is it tells it, oh my goodness, the top got cut off. We've got to work twice as hard to ensure we get the seeds made. Okay, that's at least my version of what it's thinking. But what it does is where we cut it, right at this spot where we cut it, now it's gonna send up 2 shoots. Instead of just one tall shoot, it's actually gonna have 2 shoots that come out right where we cut it. It's why you want to cut it at a leaf node, because right at those leaf nodes, the plant actually has backup stalks ready to grow so that the minute it gets cut, it can continue to grow. So when you cut it, it turns on those other stalks and it tells them it's time for you to grow. So come back in like a week after you've cut it, even a couple days, and you're gonna see even more growth coming right from where you cut it. And now instead of this being just one long stalk, it is going to be lush and bushier, and best bit of all is we are going to get twice as many flowers. This is also why, I know you're gonna think this is crazy, but you need to cut the flowers over the summertime. If you don't ever cut the flowers, let's just talk about sweet peas. We'll talk about other cosmos and dahlias and all that stuff in another video, but let's just talk about sweet peas. If we don't ever cut the flower, it allows that flower to dry on the stalk, and then it goes into seed production. Once the plant senses that all of its flowers, or most of the flowers, have gone into seed mode, it stops focusing on producing flowers and it starts focusing on producing seeds, because now in the plant's brain, it's thinking, okay, we're done with our flowers, let's get those seeds made. Well, we don't want it to go into seed production until we're done with our whole blooming season, right? We don't want it to start producing seeds the end of July. I want it to produce flowers all the way into September. And the way that you can do that is to cut the flowers. So that's why people get on you, or they'll say, oh, you need a deadhead. Well, don't just deadhead, go cut the blooms and bring them in to enjoy them for yourself. And every time you cut a flower, you're also telling the plant, send up more flowers, and it bushes out more and more and more. So This is why you should pinch your sweet peas, because you want more flowers. And it's why when it comes to this summer, I'll be sure to show you what these trellises look like all in bloom. They're so beautiful. So, planting tip for your sweet peas. You want to plant them somewhere that they could get morning sun and then be shaded in the afternoon. Sweet peas love, love, love. They need some sun in order to bloom, but if they can get some shade in the afternoon, they will bloom for so much longer. Now, we live in the Pacific Northwest where our summers are pretty mild. They don't get too crazy hot. So if you live somewhere that you have really, really hot summers, you need to get your sweet peas planted much, much earlier than we plant ours. So this is like mid-March. I started these seeds a month ago inside so that they were ready to grow now. But if you are in a different growing area where it's much, much warmer, then you should get yours started earlier. If you're in a growing area where you can't really be outside right now, maybe there's still a spot of frost where you're at or some snow, you could get your sweet peas started inside and they'll be ready to go out as soon as you can work the dirt. Usually we plant our sweet peas at this time of year where it's still pretty chilly at night. It dips down into like the upper 30s some nights, mostly 40s though. And that's kind of our sign that it's time to plant these out. It's not gonna freeze anymore, but it is still cool. That's the kind of weather that the sweet peas love. And so it's why we try to give them a little bit of shade in the afternoon during the summertime, because it allows them to continue blooming. But the best thing you can do for it is to cut the flowers and definitely to pinch the top. So I'll be back to show you more flowers that we love pinching so that we can get the most blooms throughout the whole growing season. But come and hang out with us more. We've got all sorts of stuff about dahlias, and I'll be bringing you along in the garden all summer long.